From dating to relationships, from sex to love, from Christianity to politics, from darkness to light, you have now entered into the Real Zone. Welcome to Conversations with Trent, where no topic of conversation is safe from discussion. Now, here he is, Mr. Epic himself, Trent Williams.
Hello, everyone. How's it going? There you
Hey,
go.
Tammy,
How's it
How's it going?
going?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. You ready for this?
Hope so.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, let's do it. What we got going tonight?
All right, what's going on, folks? What's going on? We can run that intro back. I think it was a delay in it real quick. We'll run the intro back real quick.
From dating to relationships, from sex to love, from Christianity to politics, from darkness to light, you have now entered into the Real Zone. Welcome to Conversations with Trent, where no topic of conversation is safe from discussion. Now, here he is, Mr. Epic himself, Trent Williams.
There you go. All right. What's going on, Tammy? How you doing?
I'm good. Sunday evening. I'm great. Just finished my dinner. I'm good. I'm ready for the break your own heart conversation.
Good stuff. First, I want to give a special shout out to. I just realized that we're actually broadcasting live on the Conversation with Trent fan page. Those guys haven't seen me in almost 4 years, so they don't even know about the whole paralyzation, any of that stuff. So, just wanted to let you know that everything's fine and what have you. Actually, I'm going live to those guys. This is their first time hearing this, so it's like I think it's like about 2,000 people over there. I was paralyzed January 26th of 2020. Lost my eyesight, regained my sight back, and I've been out of commission for almost 4 years. So, welcome back to the conversation. I appreciate you guys. Sorry you had to hear it like that, but I haven't been active on that page in almost 4 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's been a while.
At all?
I mean, periodically I post things there, but I never talked about my ailment.
Got you.
I never spoke on it, so they'll be hearing this for the first time tonight. They'll be hearing about it tonight. With everything that was going on,
a lot has happened within 4 years. A lot. For sure.
Yeah, a ton of stuff. So I want to start off with thanking you guys. It's been a hiatus. I've been on a hiatus for this thing for 4 years, and I just want to thank everybody who's actually been there through this process, this grueling process. Actually, it didn't start January 26th when I became paralyzed. It actually started in 6 months before I became paralyzed when I lost my mother, and then 8 months before that, I lost my brother. So that's when my journey started, and been kind of uphill battle since then. So I've gotten to the point now that I can actually walk. I'm walking with the assistance of a cane. I'm out of the wheelchair, so I'm thankful for that, and thank God for that. And I got my sight back at 100%. So I'm doing well. And so to the fans out there, hey, Romelo's on his way. He's coming back with the book. So that third and final installment will be available everywhere in 2 months through Taylor King Media. So that book will be available everywhere. So yeah. So it's been a minute. I just want to thank all the folks as far as it's been a long journey. And that's just what it's been. It's been a tough road. So first, I really want to thank, on a lighter note, I want to thank my nurse, man, who entered my crazy world and keeps me on schedule and keeps me on my toes with scheduling as far as my appointments, my therapy, and everything. With the condition I have, sometimes I have a little bit of short-term memory loss. that sometimes I'm forgetful with some things, and she's always on top of it and fussing with me. And Viana, I love you and I appreciate you. I always tell you, you're not an employee, you've become my sister. And I really
Oh,
appreciate that.
hey, can I just jump in because she is not a nurse. You guys, I've never met her, only by phone. But I'm telling you, if you ever just wanted to see a blessing in disguise, meaning you know that it was an appointed assignment for her to be there, because she is not a nurse. She's like his mom, his sister,
That's
his
true.
best
That's
friend,
true.
his enemy.
That, absolutely.
She
You're absolutely right
she
about that.
the good enemy, that kind that's gonna say, "Hey, no, come on,
Exactly.
we
Exactly.
got to do
Actually,
this over."
she always tell, I tell her, I say, hey, I'm going to fire you next week. So she was like, you can't fire me because Nan brought me here. And anybody who knows me know who Nan is. Nan is my mother, who actually passed in 2019. But she always tells me Nan sent her here and what have you and whatnot. So I end up not doing what I say I'm going to do, get rid of her. But I can't get rid of her. She's more like family now. So her family's actually taking me, and they're real nice folks, man. Real nice folks. They're loving and kind, real loving and kind. So thanks to your husband for always putting up me with my demanding ways and all that stuff. So I really appreciate you, Viana. I love you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. But yeah, and to everybody else, to my cousin for the late night talks, Mark out in Houston, he's actually watching. He's watching now. So thank you so much, Mark. You know what that means. Thank you so much. And then there's Ty and Shan that they're down there in Atlanta doing a watch party. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in. And this is actually Ty sent over a lapel for me for Ty flowers, and really appreciate it. So I really appreciate it. Thanks for all the kind gestures throughout the years, and for the folks all over the country. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. From Michelle, Chicago, and Eva in Chicago, and all those folks. Donna in Houston. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's get started, man. Let's get started. So we're talking about breaking your own heart. What was your thoughts when I told you about the topic that I was going to come back with?
Well, I mean, I think it's very timely. Very, very. There's some truth to it, because I think many times we do break our own heart. We allow too much before we speak up, before we speak out. We miss. I won't say we miss the red flags. We ignore red flags, and I don't mean just in relationships, you guys. I just think in life, and I'm including myself, because again, I am still taking this journey of life, and so I have to apply, and I don't always get it right. And looking back, I see where I have broken my heart over and over and over again, or allowed it to be broken,
Right.
in as it relates to relationships. So I think it's something that we need to hear and ponder on, and keep it always front and center when we're living life.
Absolutely. So when I wrote the piece, when I was thinking about breaking your own heart, and as far as breaking your own heart, sometimes we don't realize that breaking the heart can be a good thing. God's actually setting us apart from everything that we're dealing with. And sometimes he allows us to make the decision. He allows us to break our own heart to get away from the situation, to get better, to get toward healing. That's where I was, going with that. As far as a relationship, think about it for a second. When we are in situations, going into situations, and we see the red flags, think about it. Most of us jump in and we just roll right in and just go ahead. We make all those decisions after the sweat dry. What about before the sweat dry? We have to make conscious decisions before the sweat dries. So when I say breaking your own heart meaning sometimes we see the red flags, we don't do anything about those red flags. Sometimes we pick it up and walk along with those people. But sometimes the red flags are there in the beginning for you to break your own heart and make the decision to get away from it before anything even transpires.
Why do you think we ignore them? Or do you think people ignore them? And if so, why?
Because a lot of people like me, I've been one of those people. I've seen red flags and I'm a Mr. Fix It. Oh, I'm going to fix her. I'm going to fix her. I'm going to fix her. I'm gonna fix it.
Go on.
So I ignore the red flag because this is what I want. I'm being selfish. This is what I want. Not knowing that I should have made the decision to break my heart and stop it before it began. So
Do
everyone
you think you said I'm going to fix it? Do you think that some people that's from an egotistic kind of way, meaning I can change this one, I can do this one right?
that's what right way. That's a good way to look at it. That's the way to look at
Hmm.
it. But for me, I know for me, I've been in situations to where with several relationships, real beautiful, but they're always slightly cracked on the inside. That egg is so pretty, so dressed up, so nice, hair, beautiful, but they're slightly cracked on the inside. And I'm walking in, hey, I could fix that crack. I could fix that crack. I could repair that crack. No, I couldn't. So you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, but I think we're all slightly cracked.
I agree. But the only way you could actually see the crack is if you actually accept the crack yourself. When you say hey, I got to get better. But most people are not being honest with themselves these days.
That's true.
Most people are not getting it. But let's get down to the point. Did you read the caption at all?
Did I read what?
Did you read the caption for the post?
For the show? Yes, I did.
Yeah. So let's talk about the relation piece of it. So when I said, can you pull it up? Read it for me.
Hold on one second. The one that you posted today, a man okay, but let me go back.
That's the one. No, that's the one. Go ahead. That's the one.
Okay. A man who's exclusive will not tolerate nor accept a woman who's into serial casual dating. Without saying one word, he won't press. Mr. Exclusivity will just graciously walk away.
Absolutely. So what I'm saying by that is when a man has truly rediscovered himself, he will not throw himself in the dating pool. Let's be honest. You don't need 1,000 in a pool to pick him out of the pool. Come on, that's too many souls you got to go through. That's way too many souls, way too many dinners. Way too many. So a man who's actually rediscovered himself and found himself will not tolerate or accept that at all, period. Won't.
So he's dating for a purpose.
Exactly. That's the whole point. So all the serial dating and the casual dates and, oh, let's go get a movie, let's go get dinner. Nah, sorry, I'd rather dine alone until we get this right. But most women, think about it. Most women that do that'd be 1,000 men, especially if she's attractive. You got 1,000 men sitting in this pool. Why am I going to jump in that pool with these boys? Why am I going to do that? That'd be crazy. That's too many people for me. My ego's too big for that. Go ahead.
So are you saying that we should know right away if there's a possibility?
Absolutely. Every man, if they want to be honest with themselves, every man knows when he's ready to commit. Every single man knows when he's ready to commit. There's a quote I wrote actually for one of your shows. Every man knows when he's ready to commit because he's going to make the proper adjustment to adjust everything toward that woman. Every man knows. But sometimes if he feel like he can get those cookies and take off with that bag, and they know what I mean when I say the bag, take off with them goods, what I was putting in the work and putting in the time and spending time with it, that's what he's going to do. But a confident man, a solid man with purpose, a self-discovery man who's actually found himself knows that the goods are going to come down the road.
So do you think women know as well? Do you think women know? Because some people, and I won't say women or men, I'm going to say both. However, I think men know how to play us better than we know how to play them. When it comes to the point of making us think we are doing something that we are not. Because I think most of us, we really want it. Like we really want that meaningful relationship. Absolutely. So when the guy shows up,
absolutely.
So sometimes
hold on one second.
That could be.
Do something a little different here. We're going to answer these folks. They're actually starting to ask questions already. Shan out of Atlanta, she's asking, what does serial dating look like? To me, I guess she's saying to me, what does it look like? Hey, Shan, thanks for tuning, man. Thanks for tuning in down in Atlanta.
Real.
What it looks like is a serial dating is, to me, if that you got a line of guys lining up to date you, and you got a date, you have something to do every weekend with a different guy. That's a serial dater. You have something to do every weekend. Hey, I got John on Friday. I'm talking about like dinner and stuff like that, maybe coffee, going out to tea or whatever. I got John on Friday. Got Mark on Saturday, and got Mark in New Orleans on Sunday. Just casual, serial casual dating. But a lot of guys always go in thinking that they got a shot. Every single guy, I don't give a damn if he's spending $5 for coffee. He feel like he got a chance. Think about that. But that's what a serial dater looks like to me, Shan. Thank you for the question, Shan. I appreciate that. Go ahead, Tammy.
No, go ahead. I think I got mine in. Is there any more comments?
No, they're still coming in. But go ahead.
No, I don't have any. Trent, I got mine in.
Gotcha. So as far as with the a guy won't go through that, go through the rigmarole with that. I just don't have I don't have that type of patience. I don't have that patience. But another piece of when you talk about breaking your own heart, this is what we're talking about, the relationship piece. Then later on in the show, I'll break it down. We talk about family. We have to break your own heart to heal and move on. So with the relationship piece, let's just say like a situation I was in. I became paralyzed. And that's very heavy for someone to actually deal with. We're talking about one day you're fine, the next day you're paralyzed, half blind, you can't see, and all this other stuff. So I saw ahead of the road before it got bad. So I had to break my own heart and remove myself from the situation, because that's tough, man, for anybody to deal with. You have a solid guy 1 week, and then the next day he's paralyzed. That's a very heavy load to carry. And that was a very heavy load for her to carry. A very heavy load. Very fine person, man. Very nice person. But no one was going to make the decision to say, hey, listen, we've ran our course. We've done all that we could do. Nobody wanted to do that, because we were the best of friends. Still the best of friends. We were the best of friends. I say the best of friends. But I couldn't sit by and stand there and see this woman hurt anymore because of the situation I was in. I was in a very bleak situation, very bad situation. I was paralyzed. And I'm still paralyzed to temporary paralyzed now. But I was blind in my left eye, everything. I could not sit by as a man, and as her friend, most importantly, I could not sit by and allow her to just continue to take this burden on. So most people probably won't agree with the way I do things as far as moving forward. I had to make the decision to break my own heart to save everyone. I had to move away from it to break my own heart, because she sacrificed everything for me. Everything. I had to break my own heart. I had to get away from it and move past it, because there's nothing else I could do there. I couldn't do anything else. I was paralyzed. How could I assist her at this point? She's doing everything, back breaking. I mean, bath, feeding, everything. I'm talking about physically feeding me, physically bathing me for a whole year. This is for a whole year. What man would stand by and not try and get the situation better? And removing myself from the situation was the best for everyone. And when I tell you a solid individual, she's a solid individual. Will always be my friend. I'll always have her back. Always. Because of the things that she did for me. Always be a solid friend. But what man would sit by and just don't do anything? And that's just not me. I just couldn't do that. I had to break my own heart. I had to.
But as a woman, I would say what woman, because that speaks volumes for her. Especially not
Exactly.
being married, because you have married people that do that unwillingly.
Exactly.
And so it
That
speaks
this is
for
why
the heart of her.
this is why it had to be done. I broke my own heart to protect everyone. That's not something I wanted to do. I'd be the first to say that's not something I wanted to do. But this woman hadn't gave everything up. Everything for me. For me. So I had to make the decision to break my own heart, get better. That's why I became razor sharp, razor focused. Every single one of my regiments was after what this girl has taught me how to deal with this being in this state, being in a paralyzed state. So I had to go hard like that to get better so that I could actually assist myself at this point. She carried me as far as she could. She was not going to make that decision. I knew she wasn't. She was not going to make that decision. I had to. I had to. And any gentleman, any real man, if you want to be honest with himself, if you really care about a person, you saying that person, you really love that person, care about that person, you will make decisions like that. You break your own heart to move on with life, because that life was stagnant at this point. Once I became paralyzed, life was stagnant. Her whole life, whole world became Trent. And that would have been selfish of me not to break my own heart and get away from the situation. When I
Any
tell you,
regrets? Any regrets on the side of on this side of healing?
the only regret is I fell in love with her son. I fell in love with her son. And I fell in love with him. And he was part of my healing process as well. When I tell you, from speaking, the way he speaks, the way he talks, everything came through me. So, but that's why we have to make these tough decisions, man. When we see things ahead of the road, we have to make these decisions to break our own heart. We have to do that. That's when you know you've truly gone to a realm in life that, hey, listen, it's time to move on. It's time to leave, try to move on from this. And be adults about it. No animosity, none of that. But be adults about it. Sometimes you have to break your own heart to get on with life so you can heal. Not only you can heal, but the people involved can heal. The longer you stay in any situation, whether it be family, friends, anything, the longer you stay, when you know you have to leave, you know you should be gone, you're going to hurt those people, man. You're going to cause bitterness. You're going to cause all type of trauma. So you stay ahead of the ball. You stay ahead of the ball and you make the adult decision. You make the adult decision, or you guys make the adult decision together. But as a man, I could not, even in a paralyzed state, just not do anything to make sure that her mental is stable and fine. The longer I was still sick, the more she poured into me. And she poured enough into me to get me to this point. Think about it. I was in a wheelchair, couldn't speak, couldn't see, any of that stuff. That woman poured into me. Just like Tammy, just like you doing, just like Ty does, just like Dion does, just like my ex-wife Teresa does, with the foundation and all this stuff. You guys have poured into me. That's the only thing that sustained me. That's the only thing that has sustained me. Javon's pouring into me, sustained me to this point to get me up so I could actually walk again. I can't thank her enough. But I had to break my own heart to move on with life, to make sure everybody was okay. Now, do you get what I'm saying about breaking your own heart? So the reason why I wrote the stuff up like that, as far as the relationships go, let's just be honest. A lot of people are superficial, man, and they they wouldn't gravitate to it. There won't be thousands of people on a Conversation with Trent fan page watching this now. But you have to use target words, pull people in, so now we can get to the meat and potatoes and talk about everything. When you make adult decisions, you have to make an adult decision. Breaking your heart is making an adult decision and causing less trauma to yourself and the other person involved. Whether it be a family member, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a friendship, you have to get to the point when you see the red flag, sometimes you have to break your own heart. That's why we're so hard with making our own decisions, because we don't want to walk through the pain alone. Sometimes you have to walk alone. Sometimes that's what God requires. You have to walk alone. That's the only way he's going to be able to do the work. The moment I started walking alone, I got up out that wheelchair. I didn't have to take baths. I didn't have to wait for someone to assist me to take baths anymore. It takes me a little more time, but I do it on my own now. Everything's on my own now. That's the only way that God does his work. He does his best work when you do it alone. I guarantee you, if I was still with her to this day, I wouldn't have to do any of that stuff. That's how solid she was. But I had to get away from it because I knew she was not. It was almost like her pouring into me was hindering me as far as the healing process. She was so phenomenal as a caregiver. Her pouring into me.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Right.
And but some people that differs across the board, because some people that could also be a part of their healing, if that makes sense. For you, it wasn't best for you, but for some people need someone there to build them, to help them.
I didn't need that because of the way I'm built, the way I'm cut. I didn't need all that. I just needed the basics. I'll take it from there. I wasn't looking for the war was me. That's not me. I had a lion in me. The lion continues to be in me. So I wasn't interested in help me. No, I got it. I got it from here. So yeah, you're right. Most people do look for that and clinch onto it, hold on to it. And be honest with you, it took a while for me to get used to her not being around me because I've been sheltered for a year and a half. All I knew was her. All I knew was her son. That's all I knew. So I was afraid going out into the world. I was afraid because that's why I knew she would be there. I was afraid, but once I got over that anxiety, I was fine. And that's just human. We got another question here. Shan's going back to the question. How are you supposed to know somebody's the one at first meeting? Or am I missing something? Well, meaning, when I said how would a man knows? And if the man is actually, if he knows himself, he's going to know if he wants to be serious. A man won't just casual date for nothing. A real man. Not gonna be doing all that dating, all these. I did all that in my 20s. I did all that. I serial dated in my 20s. Oh, I called them jump offs back in my LA days. It was just jump off, one and done. But a real man, once he's discovered himself, he knows when he meet that woman. He knows. Trust me. And if he say he don't know, move away from him quick. He's lying.
I think when man or woman, when we are ready, the person that's there, if they are potential, it doesn't have to, because just a potential, because sometimes we think that people are ready, but they may not. We are ready and they may look like the part or look like the one. So I like it that they're a potential. And so rather than, because you can get screwed up with saying this is the one on the first date, but there's always something there. I think when you're ready, that tells you this is the right one.
Personally, it's just my personal opinion. You don't have to serial date to get to the one. You don't have to serial date to get to the one. Sometimes, try dining alone. I wrote a piece on actually that's Ty right there. She had this magazine called Lip Sync Service. I used to be a columnist for some years back. I wrote a column one year, Dining for One. And it talked about how after my divorce, I dined a lot in Michigan and then in Houston when I moved to Houston, transferred to Houston. I dined alone for years. I became celibate for 3 years. I never even touched a woman after that until 3 years later. And I was so in a different space. But when I did that, my decision making was better. I made no more decisions after the sweat dried because I wasn't sweating nobody. I wasn't sweating on anybody. I wasn't doing any of it. So I made better decisions when I moved myself away from the coochie. Let's just be honest. Let's call it what it is. When I moved away from the coochie, I made better decisions. I dined alone for 3 years. 3 whole years. My favorite restaurant, J. Alexander's. You call Trent names at J. Alexander's right now in Houston or on 12 Mile in Michigan and Farmington Hills. They'll know exactly who you talk about. I spent a lot of time at those places. I spent a lot of time at those places. Dining alone. I made better decisions. Anybody who hasn't made a better decision after sustaining from sex, raise their hand. And I know I made a horrible decision. All these different women I slept with, I was making terrible decisions, man. Even sleeping with them, made terrible decisions. But my mental was more cleansed and stable when I left the coochie alone for 3 years. Shan says potential is a perfect description. Shan's going in. Okay, so Shan is saying, I see you, Mark. Look at you, boy. Shan is saying, so I don't necessarily think serial dating for a woman involves sexual encounters. Yeah, we talked about that, Shan. Come on. Yeah, we talked about that. I totally agree with that as far as sexual encounters. Now, serial dating, though, you don't have to. It doesn't, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. You don't have to date like that. You don't have to every other weekend or 5, 6, 7 guys. I don't care if it's coffee, beignets, or whatever, dinner, or whatever. You don't have all those guys. A pool of guys, then it gets kind of cloudy at that point.
So you're saying you don't have to date so many guys.
Correct.
So do you think there's something wrong with dating if you are looking that you are dating multiple people? This is for guys and girls, because if you are ready and you're looking, how else do you
wait,
determine?
Wait, Terry, hold on. Shan, watch your mouth. Stop that. She said you were kind of a hoe. Let's be about that part. Okay. She's talking about the chapter the Delta book, Romello. Now at this point, everybody know who Romello was. I was Romello that I was writing about all those years. And that's what she's referring to. I was kind of a hoe. I was, and I've owned up to all of that. So that's why I'm able to actually speak how I'm speaking now, because running through all those different women. So yeah, you're right, Shan. Thank you for putting my business on the street, Shan. I appreciate that.
I think you did a good job with that.
What'd you say?
You did a good job of putting your business out on the street. So Shan's just following suit.
Whatever, Tam. Be quiet. But go ahead. What were you saying?
I was just talking about dating. On the flip side of that, I think it's okay sometimes. It's necessary, especially in a day like today. And just because you date doesn't mean that this guy or this girl is the one. It could be potential. And dating requires conversation, because, like Shan said, it doesn't have to be about jumping in the bed. So
I agree. So tell me. So what was the difference between? And Shan, you answered that question, and Tammy, you answered as well. What was the difference in between Romello doing what he did and?
I think she answered it already. The sheets, the sweat. You don't have to. Dating does not have to consist of getting in the bed with someone. Dating, okay. That's beyond dating. If you're in the bed, you're beyond dating.
Why does Romello have to be called a hoe?
Because Romello was manipulating women and getting them in the bed, and that is called a male hoe. That is. Y'all call women hoes when they do that. If men do it, so if you are making a woman think that she is the one, and you've already said that, not maybe on this show, but you were good at manipulating women. That's why I brought it up earlier about what about those guys or girls who are really good at making people think that they have something more than they do. And it happens. So dating for us, and I think Shan said that, it does not have to mean that we're sleeping together. Dating means we are data. The root word for dating is data, that you should be collecting data and make sure what you collect, you don't throw out the window. Don't overlook stuff that's not for you. Because what may be for me may not be for someone else.
That's why I could actually break this down. We talk about breaking out. That's how I could get. That's why I'm at this point, at this stage in life, where I made the decision to move forward in lieu of helping someone else. Now, Romello,
I think it was to help you too, because you said you needed to cut that tie. If you didn't, you wouldn't be where you are. So I think it was helping you as well. Point.
But think about how I still had Romello's mindset. I would have stayed where I was.
But Romello could see, hear, and could see and walk. So that's a different stage. So that you may be able to say that on this side. But Romello, if this would have happened to Romello, it might would have been a different outcome.
I could agree with that. I could agree with that. So let's talk about family. Let's get off of me and let's talk about families. When we sometimes we have to break our own hearts that way as well. With the healing process, even through this entire situation with me. Now you have to remember, we lost everything. My mother and my brother. It was 4 of us. And the one we lost was the leader of the horsemen. We lost everything all of a sudden. So 6 months after that, this happened to me. Everybody was lost. They didn't know if I was going to live or die. But the situation I was thrown into and all the trauma that was going on with my family, I literally had to back away from that too. So actually being there with Jay helped me because everybody was looking for the loot. The one got access to the loot is damn near dying. He's damn near dead. So we need to figure out what's going on. So I was in a safe place. And I had to break my own heart and walk away from what the only thing I knew were my brothers. Can you imagine that? I'm in a paralyzed state, lost my mother, lost my confidant, my brother, and I have to break away from my brothers. The only people that I knew, the people that they call big man, the kid that they call big man, I had to separate myself from these guys in order for me to heal because they were still hurting. I couldn't be selfish. I could not be selfish and stay there and deal with that pain with them. I had to separate myself from that because for the first time when my brother saw me after a year, I hadn't seen my brother for a year. And Alvin picked me up and took me to see him. He actually took me home to go to the house for a minute. I didn't go to stay, just went there for a minute. I think to get some paperwork or something, whatever it was. The moment he saw me, the moment Lightning saw me, he ran. He was crying. Mm-hmm. Later on, I asked him, I said, hey, why did you do that? This is like months later after that. He said, I couldn't stand seeing you like that. He automatically thought about Greg. Greg, the one that passed. So the reason, let's go back to breaking our own hearts. So I made the decision to break my own heart with them to stay away from them because everybody was still in pain. That's a lot of loss, Tammy, when you think about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we're a close-knit family. So just in a matter of months, she died June 26th. Greg died April 16th. That's 2 months and 10 days. Both of them gone. Then 6 months, this happens to me. That's a lot of loss. So no one had the tools, how to get past this but me because I've coached on this over the years. 5 steps of grief and loss. That's how I was able to assist them and help them. But I had to stay away from them to help them and assist them. I was in a troubling situation, man. But I had the tools to get better. I knew what I had to do. But I had to break my own heart to stay away from my family because everything was a mess. It's better now. It's great now. But if I didn't break my heart, I'd be in a bad situation. The only person that I spoke with once I got back to the house was my cousin Mark. We had this thing that we talk about how we'll always tease each other. We say, thank you so much. It's an inside joke between he and I. He knows exactly what I'm saying when I say thank you so much. I'm saying it now. But as he's the only one that I spoke with. I cut myself off from my entire family. The only one that I spoke with was him. Mark and Kimball, who calls him to your show down in Texas.
Yes. Yes.
That's the only one I spoke with. Still to this day, I talk to him every single day. Sometimes 3, 4 times a day. But he understands where I'm coming from. When I say I had to break my own heart to get away from my family so that we can heal properly. If I didn't do that, we'd still be in turmoil right now. I would not be relaunching this podcast. But I had to break my own heart. I did not want to do it, but I had to because I knew that they couldn't do it. They would not make the decision to break their own hearts. I had to. Does that make sense to you?
I think we have to break what I hear. You have to break your heart to heal. Sometimes you have to break your heart not to have your heart broken to a point where you cannot heal. And I do agree that we all, in most cases, we don't want to be the song says it. Neither one of us wants to be the first to say goodbye.
Exactly.
Sometimes you have to say goodbye.
You know why it's so significant? Because the first one that actually makes that decision is the one that actually heals first.
Because they have to start the healing. Because
exactly. I don't know about you, I always want to be out front. I always want to be to the finish line. I want to get to that finish line. And the reason I'm not saying it in a selfish way. I want to get to that finish line so I can reach back. So I can pull you over that finish line where you're struggling. So I can pull you over that finish line. So it's not in the selfish manner. When I say I want to be out there to the finish line first, because I want to reach back. I want you to feel what I'm feeling, how it feels to get to that finish line. Finish line means to happiness. Finish line means to peace. I want you to know how that feels.
Wholeness.
It's exactly this wholeness. There's no greater feeling. There is no greater feeling than being whole and being. I'm comfortable talking on this podcast. I know I'm talking to thousands of people. It just dawned on me before we went live. Like, damn, Tammy, talk me into putting this on a conversation with Trent page. There's thousands of folks over there. I'm totally comfortable with it. I'm totally naked. That's what I've always been for this platform is naked. That's the only way you get people where they need to be. You become naked. You have to. They have to know training. They have to. So I have no problem with being completely naked with folks. I see you, Drew. Thank you, man. Appreciate it, brother. But yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. So we can go a little further with that. So over the past year, that's where I've been as far as with the turmoil and all that, with the paralyzation and all that. And that's what got me to start this foundation as well. I had to break my own heart to get to that point to help other folks. I don't know how many people start a foundation. Go ahead.
How would people? How would you? What would you say to people who are in limbo and they are getting something from this conversation? How would they know that they're there? Like, what would you say to someone who's saying, "Is this me? Is this what I need to do?" how would you guide them to do that, or to be sure that that's what they should do?
Exactly. The moment a person starts negotiating with themselves, you know that's time for change.
What do you mean by that?
Negotiating, talking yourself out of shit. It's just what I just said, talking yourself out of shit. Meaning, if you know you have to move forward, you know you have to move on, you know you have to break your own heart, but you're negotiating with yourself on the why you should stay, why you should be in that. You're negotiating with yourself at this point. When you start negotiating with yourself, it's time to move. It's time to go. Okay. It's time for you to. It's time.
Do you think that's always, or do you think that could be an emotional roller coaster? Do you think that's always?
It could be an emotional roller coaster, but the moment you start negotiating and you constantly going to negotiation mode.
Okay, makes sense.
Something's wrong. You're questioning something. If you're negotiating with yourself, now you're questioning something. So now it's time for you to accept the red flags that you're seeing within yourself. Now you need to make that move. You need to make that move. So who's ever in a situation like that, whether it be relationships, whether it be family members or anything, you have to be the one to make decisions. Because if you're dealing with family, and if you're a critical thinker, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be the person to make that first move. But if you love your family, you're going to make that decision and think about everybody involved, not just yourself. You're going to think on everyone. I've broken my own heart with some of my family members that truly can't understand why I don't have any conversation with them to this day. When I made the decision to do this for everybody. But I don't expect everybody to get that because everybody hasn't reached that realm yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Everybody. And I'm not looking for everybody to be in that same realm. I'm not looking for that. Sometimes they have to hitch their train and they have to get to it themselves. But 9 times out of 10, some of the decisions that I've made to help everyone, including myself, that's when you're a critical thinker, though. That's when you actually sit down and you assess things and say, you work things out, you negotiate things with yourself to move forward. At some point, the light bulb will come on for some of them, and some of them will probably admit to it, some of them probably won't. That goes into relationship or just a friendship. That light bulb will come on. Hey, you know what? Trent was right. You know what? Hey, Trent did love me, but Trent made the decision for both of us. That's when you go ahead.
I was going to ask, do you think that sometimes you have to break your heart in another way, meaning break your heart to stay? Because so often, go ahead. If you got a comment, go ahead.
What's going on? I want to acknowledge everybody on the conversation. So I just want to make sure I get everybody. What's up, Mr. Dillon? How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. Appreciate you, brother. Go ahead.
I was going to say, sometimes we're so caught up in the wrong way because, as we say, it becomes we are a sum of all of our experiences, and sometimes we talked about this a little bit on the previous show. You have to break your heart to move forward, meaning break your heart, break away from where you are. So it could go both ways, because some people need to break their heart and able to move forward with that right guy, with that right girl, because they're stuck in places. And that's a breaking of the heart, because that is what you know. Sometimes what we know can be just as sabotaging, even if it's bad for us.
Exactly. And sometimes we have to realize that, man. We have to be honest with ourselves first. Before breaking our heart, we have to be honest with ourselves first before we do it. You know, I have to be honest with ourselves first, man. I knew every heart, as far as my heart, every time I've broken my heart, I had to be honest with myself. I had to take that mirror. I didn't need the hand mirror. I needed the stand-up mirror to do it. Whether it be pushing away from my brothers for a while, whether it be pushing away from my past relationship, pushing away from friendships, pushing away from business partners, all that stuff. I had to break my own heart. You think I'm going to friendships to break them? No, not at all. Even with the business partner that I was with, I had to break my own heart and move myself away from him. That guy just lost a brother. Now he feels what I feel. That really troubles me that I cannot be there for him because money got in the way. I wish I could be there.
You know, I don't get that one.
Say again now.
I don't get that one.
Yeah, I know.
You can't be there because money got in the way. So you don't let money get in the way. It's how I look at that. If you want to be there, then you should be there. That's how I see it.
Absolutely right. And sometimes we got some things that we need to work on. We need to work out. And I don't know if he's there. I'll meet him there, but I don't know if he's there yet. And sometimes you got to be the bigger person, ask a place to call yourself. So I think I'll give him a call. But I know what it's like, what he's going through right now. I know exactly what he's going through.
And the reason I said that because you said you wish you had something. If you didn't, then that's different. But I think if you want to be there, then you want to be there. And so I don't feel like that's different than if you just say we washed our hands and it's all good. But you said you want to be there.
Yeah, because like I said, the reason why I said I want to be there because I know what he's going through and dealing with as far as the loss of his brother. I know exactly what he's going through. So that's why I said I want to be there. I know exactly what he's going through at this moment. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, me and this guy had a very, very close friendship, extremely close friendship.
Mm-hmm. I get it. I understand that people, lifetime reasons or seasons. So, I mean, I get that. I
totally agree. Yeah. So like when we talk about, okay, we'll get in. Just checking all those comments, but yeah. So that's what I've been dealing with, going through. That's how I got to the breaking the heart situation as far as where it started. You know, it started by me taking my mirror, turning it inward, and dealing with myself first. That's why I was able to make critical decisions and move on past that by making critical decisions. To some people, it may seem pretty cold, may seem distant. No, it's not. That's an unselfish act when you break your own heart to move forward in life. Everybody's better for me breaking my own heart. Get it?
Of course, I get it.
Gotcha.
But
gotcha. Go ahead. You go ahead, Tam. I'm just checking out these comments. We'll go ahead and take a break. We'll take a break real quick.
Okay.
Thanks for tuning into Conversations with Trent. We will be right back with more conversation after these commercial breaks.
Check out the creative work of the author Trent Williams of www.taylorkennedymedia.com. Chapter of the Delta gives us a peek at his life-changing events. And if that's not enough, Trent tells you more about his brothers and his life through memoirs in his book, The Four Horsemen. His blogs and daily stimulating quotes are published in his book, Life's Little Addiction. And when you have a need of some human coaching of life and relationships, take a look at Conversations with Trent, Volume 1 and 2, and Conversations with Trent, Limited Edition. You will find his works available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all online book retailers.
Welcome back to Conversations with Trent. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're online and want to be a part of tonight's topic, you can do that by dialing 347-324-5327. Press the number 1 to get into the queue so that your voice can be added to tonight's conversation. Now, let's get back to the show.
Good stuff there. Good stuff. Yeah, so this is a little different being on camera opposed to being in the studio. I haven't been in the studio.
It is. I feel you, my brother. I'm telling you, it is. Because we did Blog Talk, you guys, for so long. And so it was, I could feel the shift because I went through it as well. But hey, it is what it is because you guys like this better. but being behind just your voice being out there is so much different than all of
Absolutely.
you, all of you. So it's a mind thing, especially again when you're used to the old way. That's what I meant by sometimes you have to break your own heart and move forward, move out of things that seem to be working for you, good and bad. It's just as
Exactly.
difficult sometimes for us to not break our heart because we are so used to being where we are and being
Let,
with who we're with,
let's,
even if they're
let,
bad for us.
exactly. Let's be honest. Let's be honest here, though. The majority of folks are so used to trauma because they've never addressed the trauma to where they'll
Also,
walk
because
in.
that's all they know. I think
Exactly.
because that's all they know.
Exactly. So they'll walk in that trauma day in and day out without even addressing it. And when you normally, what's going on, Mark? I see you, brother. When you actually when you walk into trauma, 9 times out of 10, people won't address those traumas, man, because that's the thing to do. That's the thing to do. Just sit and wallow in that trauma. But it seems like the one that's always addressing the trauma be the one with the biggest target on his back. You know how many targets I've had on my back? Because I address trauma. Not only address trauma that I see, I address my own trauma. That's normal to me. Like addressing your issues, that's the thing to do. You have to. That's how I release my pain. I release my pain through writing. Like I was talking to someone, I think it was the other night, and they read Chapter the Delta. And her question was, she says, all those stories that's real. So I said, yeah, every last one of them. But I write to release. Every single book I've written, I've cried with every single book I've written. I was releasing my pain. And now we talking, those books was published back in, starting with the passing of my father, 2010. From 2010 until now, those books are still bestsellers. Why? Because it came from an honest place. It came from an honest place. It came from an honest place because I was addressing my pain, which helped other people in their pain. It's hard to deal with the inward mirror, but when you get that inward mirror, it feels so much better, man. It feels so much better. It feels so much better. But you have to defer. The key to that is acknowledging it. Once you acknowledge it, you'll be in a better place. But you have to acknowledge it first. That's the only way you can actually get to a point where you're actually breaking your own heart. You have to acknowledge your pain first. You have to. You totally have to. So that's what it is, man. That's what it is. That's what it is. So, like when I spoke with Tammy, and I talked to Tammy about coming back, I said that if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this again. It's gonna have to be the same way I left it. I have to be transparent with it. I have to be open and honest and transparent with it. Tammy, what you doing? Playing with the cameras here? What you doing here?
I just got you front and center.
I don't want to be in front center. Come on back that way. I don't want to.
And why not?
I don't like that attention. I don't like that attention.
What's his name? What's his name?
Romello.
Romello.
Yeah, but Romello like that from the past. Don't start Shannon because Shannon starting with us stuff.
Come on, Shan. Tell Shan I need some help here.
Exactly. What's up, Mark? What's up? I see your brother. Yes, older, wise, and learning for the past. That's right. That's right. What's going on with you, Marine? I see you, brother. Yeah. So, like I was saying, kind of threw me off when you put me center stage. But like we talk, offline all the time. If I was gonna bring the conversation back, it had to be like I left. It had to be more transparent. It had to be another realm. Because I'm in a totally different headspace now. We could talk about the romance. We could do all that stuff. But let's get to the core of the problems. Let's get to the core of the issues. Let's get to how you break your own heart by bettering yourself and those around you. Sometimes you have to walk alone. Sometimes you have to stand alone and do it alone. You have to. That's the only way you're going to find you. You have to. This is some good stuff. It feels good to be back and what have you. The platform's a little different, but it's all right. I'm still not so cool with the camera, but y'all see me tonight, right? See me? Shout out to Ty, man. Ty with the lapel. She sent me a lapel over. You guys can check out Ty Flowers at tyflowers.com. Tysflowers.com. She has wonderful stuff, coffee mugs, all that good stuff on there. She's an actual designer. She's a painter, and she does this free-handed. So good stuff. Damon Dudley said he didn't know I had podcasts. Yeah, bro, I've been podcasting, man, for years. I took a break. Actually, it's my first time back in 4 years. So it's been about 4 years. I took a break. I was on a break there for a while. I've been podcasting for years, so man. Go ahead, Tammy.
You go ahead. I'm good. I'm looking for Ty's information so I can put it on here. And it's you got more comments?
Let me look through them.
So you guys, while he's listening, I want to just give a shout out to Butterfly Evolution. We air on Tuesday nights at 7:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. If anybody's looking for life coaching, relationship coaching, seminar speaker, motivational speaker, hit me up, bluffcityleadership.com. And I'll actually, if it's about the assessment, I'll send you over to Trent because he's actually an introducer. So he can introduce you to it and we all win that way. So check us out on Tuesday nights. We also have Nick is going to be doing a short series starting Thursday.
I like Nick. He's a good guy.
So that should be a good show as well. Another good brother. So check us out on Thursday at 7 as well.
I appreciate that, Mark. Mark saying he's checking me out. I have the other show updated, meaning Tammy, your show. Now I have this one. A wise man can learn from a fool's mistakes. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
I'm gonna have to keep telling Mark. I'm gonna have to get Mark on a Tuesday night. I need him to.
Yeah,
if he's listening, Mark, I need you to pick a subject and I want you on. I want to interview you. I want to have you in the studio with.
Mark's a good brother, man. Mark's a good brother.
I can tell.
I've been knowing Mark, man, for a ton of years. I'm speaking our age here, brother, so forgive me. Mark and I
think Mark and I will go at it with some good conversation. I think he and I have some good conversation.
I think so. Mark and I produced some songs over the years, ton of songs over the years. He's actually a producer.
That's the Mark.
Yeah, he's a producer. So he's
I didn't know that.
He's been around a ton of years with me, and we've been good, very close friends a long time. We've spent many nights.
Does he still do music?
He does. Yes, he does.
Okay.
He does. Yeah.
I got somebody I need to hook Mark up with.
He's a wonderful producer, as you know. So yeah.
Okay.
Definitely, I can make that happen for you. It's all good. All good. But I appreciate you guys tuning in, man. And like I said, this is the first night back, and hey, man, I got the jitters out the way. Actually, it's gonna be on Sundays, not Friday. We'll be doing it on Sundays. Conversation with Trent will be on Sundays. Going back to the original podcast, Conversation with Trent, where it started on Sunday.
Why don't you tell the people to tell you what night's best, Friday or Sunday?
No, I take a poll. I move a little different. We'll do it on Sunday. They'll come along.
All right, Romeo. I'm gonna say Romeo.
That's funny.
Not Romeo.
That's funny. Shan, I think Shan had some more comments up here talking trash, but we'll see what she's talking about. Yeah,
all right, so
But I want to shout out to Ty and Shan doing the watch party over there in Atlanta. Shout out to Mark over in Houston, my cousin Mark, who's always supporting, man. I love you. I appreciate you. You already know what it is with us. Shout out to Mark, DJ Mark, that is Slash, for always checking out, man. I appreciate you. You know I love you as well, brother. Appreciate you. It's good to be back. As my recovery progresses, I'll do more and do more. I can't wait to get back out there on the road and see those guys in Chicago and the Bahamas, all those places. I can't wait to get back out there. As soon as I'm cleared, I'll be out there moving around again. But I do see I see the results, and you guys knowing that I'm back. I see the results in the sales because those sales are coming back up. So that's truly appreciated. I really appreciate that. And as soon as I'm finished with that third installment, I'll be out on that road. I really appreciate that.
And you'll be back on next Sunday, right? 7:00.
Yeah, I'll be back, and we're gonna finish up this. Maybe I can get Shan out here to talk this mess she's talking. Maybe I can get her and Ty on here. The breaking heart, because it seems like they want to talk more relationships and all that stuff. Maybe we can get a panel, get it back to the conversation with Trent days where it just be me in a room with a whole bunch of women. Maybe get you some help, Tammy, help some folks out, or help you out, help y'all out, because I'm a handful to deal with. Oh, you speechless? Are you speechless?
No, this is your night. This is your night. I'm not. Look,
why you speak? Is it the shirt or the
If I speak, it will become my night. It's yours.
See that? Hey, when you learn that, we're gonna be good. We're gonna be good. We're in good shape. Yeah, this is my. Every night is my night.
No, if I speak, it becomes my night. So I'm just here to help and listen tonight.
There it is. But I want to get to the thank yous, then we'll sign off. But I really want to thank you, Tammy, for holding my hand literally through this entire process and really forcing my hand to get on camera. And after this incident with the paralyzation and all that stuff, I really appreciate you, man. I love you. I cherish your friendship. I thank Ty. Like to thank Ty. She's always pushing me and making me put on blazers and lapels and all of this stuff, man. I really appreciate the people that surround me, and they make me better.
Amen.
Every single day. And hey, here's the thing. It's all women. That's the crazy thing about it. You guys better surround yourself with some greatness, man. Around women. You surround yourself with great women, you become greater.
Wow.
You do.
Anybody else you want to shout out to?
Yeah, my ex-wife Teresa. We are doing the foundation. Some call me Trent Foundation, where we actually for independent disability. She's actually writing the grant up for me, and you actually sit on the board of that, as well as Ty and as well as Dion and Elle sit on the board for that. And I'm so grateful and appreciate it. I appreciate that you guys would actually support me on this mission of assisting and helping those who have disabilities and try to get this thing going and help as many people as we can. Because in situations like this, man, think about it. If I didn't have the mindset that I have, I would be in a desolate place. Think about how many people who don't have a support system. Think about people who don't have family members, or think about people who don't have a Javon in their life. Think about people who don't have an L in their life. Think about that. Or who don't have a Tammy or a Ty or Dion in their life, or Teresa in their life. Think about that. These people are alone, most of them sitting at home alone. That's why I decided to bring up and start up the foundation to assist those folks, to help them how much as I can. You know, where we can assist and whatnot and get it going. That's my goal for this year, to finish it off strong going into the new year, is the foundation. Some call me Trent Foundation for independent people living with independence, disability independence. So just to help those folks out and let them know that the hourglass is not done. It's It's still life. Doesn't matter if you're in a wheelchair or if you're walking on a cane, whatever disability you have, it's still life to be lived. And Some Call Me Trent Foundation, we're here to assist. And that website is somecallme.org. Somecallme.org. There's information about disabilities, that's programs, all that stuff that's available that you guys don't know nothing about. And they will not promote that. And that's why I built the website to place the information there. There's a telephone number attached to that where you can contact me directly if you need assistance as far as helping out. I could direct you into the right agencies to get to the right people. I have the right connections to get you help you need, whether it be food banks, whether it be clothing, whether it be anything. There's foundations that help out. This foundation can help. Even the caregivers. We have assistance to help with the caregivers as well. So we have all that information on the somecallme.org website. We update it weekly. Just want to make
But
sure.
also don't forget, if you know of a facility, an organization, a group that you'd like for him to come out and speak, either by way of Zoom or whatever, because that's the best encouragement right there in front of their face so that they can see where he came from and where he is today. So if you know an organization, church, business, group, whatever, just look him up on that website or hit him up on Facebook and let him know.
Absolutely. So there's a direct number to me on the somecallme.org. Just you got dial that number. I'll pick it up. I actually one of Tammy's friends. I picked up a client out of where is he from? Mississippi, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's an older gentleman. Is a stroke patient. Needed some motivation, man. He needed some motivation to get him out of there. And proud to announce that he's out of that bed. He's headed off to therapy. Now he's headed off to therapy and he's out of the bed. So he's not in that bed anymore. I sent over videos so that he can actually he can get the moving. I'll be actually coaching him again on Wednesday, getting him moving. So, but I'm gonna call it a night. I gotta get this medicine in me. What are you laughing at?
Just let me know when you want me to hit the button, not the close button.
Yeah, so I'll be back next Sunday, man. I'll be back next Sunday, and you're a mess, Tammy. I appreciate you, though. I'll be back next Sunday, man, for everybody that tuned in and everybody that will be tuning in. I'm back, and I'm not going anywhere. No time soon. I'm back. So see you guys.
What's the topic for next week?
We're gonna dig back into this breaking your own heart and go deeper into the relationship piece of it, so we can dig a little deeper. I think that's what they want to talk about. We're gonna talk about it.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
All right.
Break Your Own Heart Part 2.
Been great.
Yeah, it is. Is it? A little nervous, but it's good. Back, good to be back, man. Real good to be back. I appreciate you, Tam. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
Conversations with Trent in conjunction with Taylor Kennedy Media and your radio network would like to thank you for calling in and listening to tonight's episode. We hope that tonight's conversation offended you just enough to turn your mirror inward to come back for more. So until next week's conversation, be epic.